Hey guys, welcome to LK Consulting Services. My name is Louisa, and I'm here to talk to you about resume interview and networking prep. I know it can be really difficult to find employment, especially in this time of COVID. Insanity, just imagine doing that. My services are aimed for high school students, undergraduate students, recent grads, or any professional really looking to make their next career move. If you're interested in a consultation yourself, please do not hesitate to reach out to me in any of our socials. With that being said, please enjoy my first video.
Hi guys, welcome to LK Consulting. I thought it'd be a great idea for this first episode to talk about the importance of asking questions in an interview. And I invited our guest today, Joseph Lee, to talk about his experience and how asking questions actually really impacted his interview experience. So if you don't mind giving us a little bit of an introduction, and then we can go ahead and jump into the questions.
Well, thank you so much, Louisa, for having me. I'm Joseph Lee. I'm a recent undergrad graduate from Rutgers University. I majored in sport management. And ever since I started with LK Consulting and they've basically helped me polish my resume, I've been getting more responses back from positions that I applied to. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad that we could be of help. I know recently you underwent an interview, actually yesterday, and you told me the beginning half was a little rocky, and at the end, you felt like perhaps you salvaged it. So could you just elaborate on that?
The first 15 minutes I felt were kind of brutal and I felt like this conversation kind of had no direction and direction in point of like me kind of like expressing my value and like how I'd be a great fit. And as soon as he said, "Do you have any more questions for me?" When he said that, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do my best to like learn more about this company and also kind of like pick his brain and learn like, what type of boss he is, what type of CEO he is. The questions portion of the interview was a lot longer than him asking me questions. And yeah, it was almost like double the amount of time that he asked me questions, if not more. And at the end of it, he was like, "All right, so tomorrow we're gonna set up an interview." And he set up an interview right now with me on the phone. He was like, 10 a.m. tomorrow, which is today. So 10 a.m. today, you have another interview. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, he liked me." And the questions really saved me. So yeah.
Wow. Actually, in the first portion of the interview, it's the interviewer's job to interview you, right? And the second portion, you kind of took advantage of that opportunity and started interviewing him, which is exactly what you should do in any interview because you want to know what you're getting into exactly, right? You want to know what kind of boss you'll be working under, what your role really entails. Why do you think that asking questions helped you? What do you think about that perhaps made him think, I want to move him to the second round, even though the first half of your interview was a bit, not as great as you wanted it to be.
The first portion of it goes like, "Hey, how qualified are you?" And then the more important thing was, "Okay, how much do you care about this?" Like, what is it about this company that you just applied to? Is it just because you applied to it? And that shows if I was like, "Oh no, I don't have any questions. I think I'm good." But I was like, I want to know more. Like, this is what I know so far. Like, can you emphasize on that? He even recommended me a book to read to further encourage me along my own career pathway. And I was able to show more of my humility and just my personality throughout my questions, more so than
Ooh.
I was able to do in my interview. But yeah, questions saved me. Curiosity saved me for sure.
Oh, that's interesting. No, for sure. It seems like you got a lot more out of the you asking him questions than maybe even the first half of the interview. So, you got a book that he recommended. So now you can expand your knowledge, even maybe if you don't get the position. So it's helping you in general, which is really great. And my last question is, why do you think most people don't care to ask questions? Or why do you think some people don't understand the importance of asking questions in an interview?
I think initially when someone doesn't get help with career management like you're helping with me or haven't taken any classes in that. I was very fortunate enough to take a class in career management throughout my college. So
Mhm.
like I kind of know like questions are important. I think at first people have the fear of you'll seem incompetent if you don't ask questions. I mean, if you do ask questions, like, oh, you're not
Mm.
sure about this role, right? Like, you
Ah,
don't know
see.
about us
Yeah.
enough. How can you possibly know everything about our company? Like, yes, there's a job poster. Like, yes, like we talk about things, but like, you haven't worked a single day in your life with us. It's a trailer that you don't get. You have no idea what the movie's about until you watch the trailer about it or until you read about it, right? But even so, you're gonna have questions because you haven't seen the movie itself, you know?
I think that that's a really helpful advice for anyone. The question asking is almost just as important as when they interview you. So it's beneficial for you as an applicant, and it's also making the interviewer look at you in a very positive light. Let's say you were lacking the skills. Let's say your work experience didn't line up to their expectations, but you ask questions and you care and you're eager and you want to work here. That can compensate for so much. And I feel like you experienced that here. Thank you so much, Joe, for taking the time today and answering my questions. So, about the importance of asking questions in interviews.
If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. There's a lot more content to be coming out. It can look like interviews like the one I just did with Joseph Lee. More content can just look like me just giving you advice on what you can do to increase your opportunities. So keep your eyes peeled, and thanks so much, guys.